It is by far the biggest motorsport event to take place in South Africa since the Kyalami F1 Grand Prix way back in 1993. We've got international world champions of the likes of Carlos Sainz, Nasser Al-Attiyah and Sebastian Loeb going head-to-head with local stars like Brian Baragwanath, Guy Botterill, Henk Lategan, and of course the legend Janelle de Villiers. They're all vying for top honors when it comes to the W2RC right here in South Africa.
It's round 3 of the World Rally Raid Championship, and nearly 100 of the world's fastest drivers and riders have all descended upon Africa's kingdom of pleasure, Sun City. The action got underway with the short but important 9-kilometer prologue. 9 kilometers that were used to determine the starting positions for Stage 1. During a glitzy and glamorous affair, the top crews picked their preferred starting positions for the opening stage. As always, it's a bit of a brain teaser. Closer to the front means finding the route first and leaving tracks and clues for others to follow. But further back could mean ending up in slower traffic and in heavy dust. Factors that will undoubtedly slow you down. Different crews have different strategies, but in the end, they all share the same objective: to go as fast as possible.
And it all has resulted in this, the start of Stage 1. Behind me, Sebastian Loeb, who has the unenviable task of opening the stage. He'll travel about 170 kilometers to Lichtenberg, after which he'll take on 262 kilometers of special stage on varied terrain. Welcome to Stage 1 of the SA Safari Rally.
It's time to get properly stuck into this fantastic new event. Luciano Benavides putting Ross Branch behind him then as they roared into this first full stage. 260 k's of narrow tracks, mud and grass, as well as lots of gates through the farmland. Some very tough early navigation meant that Branch soon caught up and they spent the rest of the day opening together. A reminder, there are no bonuses here in South Africa. But several gates were shut and that meant stopping and losing time they would later recover. After a wild day, Benavides came 5th, while Branch took the stage honours.
Honestly, today was one of the craziest stages in my life. Super tricky navigation in the beginning, no caps, so many pistes. But after Ross catch me from behind and we rode together all day.
The whole day opening with Luciano was amazing, so I think we did a good job.
Well, Daniel Sanders made a bad start. He got lost and shipped 6 minutes in just 18 kilometres. But Chucky then put the hammer down and came roaring back, showing incredible pace to recover most of that lost time. There was a final twist though, a 2-minute penalty for a missed waypoint, and that dropped him down to 4th. It was a roller coaster sort of day with lots of riders going astray. Unfortunately, home hopeful Bradley Cox was one of them, losing over 25 minutes. Sherco's latest recruit did admit before the rally that it's never easy adapting to a new bike and a new team, especially in racing conditions. Ricky Brabeck doesn't live anywhere near grass, so he had a tough old time of it early on. But once things opened up, he was able to push. At one point, the American even had the stage victory, but when other riders recovered time, he slipped down to 3rd. Still, he's very much in the fight. Adrien van Beveren also struggled early on because his roadbook tablet wasn't working properly, but the Frenchman was able to get a new one, and he also recovered time. VBA ended up doing an excellent job on the Honda, powering his way to 2nd place, only 55 seconds down on Ross Branch. The Motswana collecting his first stage win of the season, which is bound to boost his confidence. He led in 2 Hondas and 2 KTMs. Taking the prologue times into account, Branch leads the Safari Rally by 50 seconds. Harriet Noah sadly crashed out of today's stage in Rally 2, injuring his wrist, and we wish him a speedy recovery. More ill fortune for the Indian after his prologue crash at the Dakar. Tobias Ebster seems to be adapting well to life with Hero. He spent a while today riding with his new teammate Nacho Cornejo. With all of the tricky navigation and potential dangers out there, the Austrian was very happy to get through unscathed. He only missed out on the Rally 2 win by 12 seconds. Well, Michael Doherty was originally the stage winner, but he was slapped with a 13-minute penalty for missing his start time and dropped down to third. It was a pretty crazy day for the South African, featuring illness and a couple of crashes, including one biggie, but he's okay, and the pace is definitely there. Edgar Canet was happy to finish a stage for the first time since the Dakar, having crashed out on stage 1 in Abu Dhabi, and he also came away with the Rally 2 win. The Spaniard finishing 8th in the bikes, a shade quicker than Ebster, and grabbing the overall lead of this class.
Yeah, this is the best feeling after a really tricky stage. Finally P1 in Rally 2, P8 overall, so super happy with that. We have 4 stages in front, so now it's time to keep focus and let's see what is coming tomorrow.
Konrad Dabrowski joined Bass World KTM just before South Africa. He was third today, with Roy Barbosa rounding out the top 5 for X-Raid's experience. Canet leads Ebster by just 18 seconds, with Dabrowski at 4:51 and Doherty over 10 minutes back. Gaëtan Martinez made it 2 from 2 in the quads. The Frenchman came in over 25 minutes clear of his teammate, Antanas Canot-Quinas, who damaged a rear arm and had to ease off the pace.
Everything went perfect for me, but the rally is not over, so it's still 4 days to come, the marathon stage to come, so everything can still happen.
It was a chaotic day with Marek Woy and Karin Thiessen both failing to finish, Martinez in pole position.
Drivers and co-drivers make their way up. A reminder that the top 10 crews will be benefiting from a 3-minute dust gap. The next 20 crews will benefit from a 2-minute dust gap.
And we plan to start on 6.
Number 6 for Nani Roma in the M Sport Ford.
No, we're definitely not going to open the road. I think we're going to slot into number 6.
Lucas, like we said with the FIM guys, do you like to run from the front or do you like to do the chase down?
Now we go with 4th.
We're going to go with a number 4, so that is 4 on the gate.
All of our drivers picked. Very well done to our top 10 squads on the qualifying.
The Ultimate Drivers gathering for what promised to be a tough opener, and good to see plenty of fans out to see them off.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, apologies for saying that after his issues yesterday, Sebastian Loeb was set to end up at the back of the field in the dust, because with a reverse starting order in effect today, the Frenchman was actually opening. And the 9-time World Rally Champion did an excellent job, only dropping 3.5 minutes. He and Fabien Lurquin didn't push too hard, staying very focused on navigation, and that conservative approach paid off as he came third. Not a bad day at all for the Dacia Sand Riders, although Nasser Al-Attiyah did slip down the standings after a late penalty.
In some place we knew that the motorbikes made some mistakes, so we had to be very focused on the navigation. Yeah, it's not so bad. We didn't know about road position. Is it better to be first? Is it better to be far behind? Is it some dust? At the end, I think it didn't change a lot.
Joao Ferreira stormed through the first part of the stage in his X-Raid Mini, topping the timesheets at the first split and passing Saud Variawa after he punctured. However, the Portuguese driver had to slow down due to a problem with his windscreen wipers and finished 14th. After his memorable prologue victory, Gareth Woolridge was 12th. The South African hasn't actually raced since last November, and he says no amount of testing can replace competitive kilometres. Local knowledge didn't help too much on a tough day, but they're only 6.5 minutes down. Now here's a name to remember, Jaden Els, who was right up at the business end today in 4th place, despite running into a bit of trouble. The 20-year-old's a precocious talent, and he set his sights on the Dakar. Based on today's performance, he is definitely one to watch.
I think our draw, everyone was surprised that I drew so far back at the starting position for today. I managed to catch Seth and Nasser, so that feels good. Yes, fighting with my idols. Can't complain, super happy today.
Speaking of idols, Carlos Sainz went absolutely tearing through the field today, having set off way back in 29th position. El Matador did have to stop at one point to clean mud off the windscreen, but otherwise he was on an absolute flyer. This Ford Raptor is looking in excellent shape. Sainz was second, with Nani Roma in 5th. After all, age is just a number. But the day belonged once again to South Africa. This time it was Henk Latergen who saw off all comers, displaying sensational speed to win by 2 minutes and 38 seconds from Sainz. After 4 months out of the car, Latergen says he feels like a racing driver again, and his margin of victory in the Toyota Gazoo Racing Hilux could have been even bigger.
We left quite a bit of time out there today, I think, so a little bit disappointed in that, but you can never be too disappointed in a stage win. So at the end of the day, we got through clean, the car's still in one piece, never got out the car, so that was the aim and we managed that.
Latergen leading in Sainz and Loeb on this opening day, with Els no doubt delighted to find himself in such esteemed company. In the Challengers, it was a day of mixed fortunes for the World Championship leader, Nicolas Cavigliasso. The Argentine was fighting for victory throughout the stage, but he took a wrong turn late on and lost around 3 minutes, meaning he had to settle for 4th place. Well, victory went to his fellow Argentine and BBR teammate David Zille. He said it was a grueling day with changing terrain and lots of stop-start driving. Above all, he was relieved not to get stuck in the mud. He's also expecting a very close contest in this class. Zille leads the way from Pau Navarro and Adam Kush with just over 5 minutes separating the top 5. It was a disastrous day for Alexander Pinto in the SSVs. The W2RC leader suffered a big impact and lost over an hour and a half, seriously damaging his chances of picking up big points this week. But they did at least get the car to the finish line. Meanwhile, there was an unexpected victory for Richard Axel. He does have a bit of experience in this kind of terrain, having done the Kenya Classic in a 1972 Porsche 911. But it still came as a surprise when he found out.
I never ask about the standings or what's happened in the stage. Never do. And I was a bit worried because the car's quite muddy and I thought the mechanics would be upset they'd have to wash it. And he said, good news. I said, what, they'll wash it? And he said, no, we won.
It was even a British 1-2 with Axel leading in George Hall's. Jose Nogueira was third with his teammate Pinto, now rock bottom. One down, 4 to go, and the fun is only just getting started.
As you can imagine, it is a massive undertaking to manage almost 100 cars and bikes as they traverse the Northwest province. To do that, though, you need a dedicated team of marshals and officials to ensure everything is safe, not only for the competitors, but for the spectators too. This is the story of the marshals and the officials, the real heroes of Rally Raid Racing.
We We're at the Swartkops Raceway, and we joined here with about 40 of the off-road marshal units officials for a very important training session. We've got the South African Safari event, and it's really a first in South African motorsport. It's really going to place us on an international stage. And of course, with that comes a big responsibility from our side to ensure that our marshals and our officials are up to absolute international standards. So our training session today will be led by the very experienced Edo Mossi. Edo Mossi is from the ASO, Amari Sporting Organisation, and he's actually joined us all the way from Italy to come and assist our officials in training.
Actually, they are already very well prepared, but we have a slight difference on the regulation, so we are training them on that. It's a nice team. They work together on the national championship, so we are really confident that they will do an amazing job.
You cannot have a race without marshals. You need people at road crossing, safety for the public, especially for the competitors. They assist with timing, start of events, end of events, communications, to get the right information from a competitor should there be an issue. They're the eyes and the ears for the organisation, so you've got a well-managed race and a free and fair result at the end of the day.
Most of the marshals can't afford to be a race driver because it's too expensive. That's the closest that we can get hands-on to the sport, into the dust and the mud and the guts and the glory. So all of us enjoy it to the fullest. That's the big thing why we all become marshals.
It's a good interlude from normal work. Gives you a chance to see all the action and also to speak with international drivers from time to time.
Enjoy every minute of it. In the sun, out in the bush, in the dust, in the mud, in the rain. Love it. Every minute.
Motor racing has been in our blood for a long time. Since I was a kid, I was adapted to it, or adopted to it, or whatever you call it. But we love the sport, and we do it for the love of it.
I have been marshal in the past. It is actually an adventure because you leave all the event in the bush, you move from point to point, you have to navigate, you have to drive your 4x4 in the bush, you are facing many problems. The days are very long because from the first bike to the last car you can have 8 hours, there is dust, and these people are brilliant because they can keep having the same level of performance for 5, 6, 7 days, and this is amazing.
So this event and the planning of this event have really started quite a few years ago when we as an organisation really felt the need to bring a big championship like the World Rally Raid Championship to South Africa. I think it's a great opportunity for us and South Africans to actually see and first-hand experience those amazing cars that we only see on TV during Dakar.
Today we are teaching them the difference between the national championship they are used and the world championship. We are going through FIA and FIM regulation, banners on the terrain, navigation, using of GPS application, and there is a very wide training, but they are already on the page and is going much faster than expected because they already know very well their job.
I'm project managing this event on behalf of SA Rally Raid and Motorsport South Africa. So my primary role is to ensure that there is proper compliance with the regulations which apply to the event from the FIA and the FIM, as well as seeing that all of MSA's requirements are properly dealt with. It involves producing a vast amount of documentation, ranging from the rally guide to the regulations specific to the event for both motorcycles and cars. It's been a massive learning exercise, particularly because the local championship doesn't include bikes. Here we're having to comply with 2 sets of regulations in relation to the event. Motorsport is potentially a dangerous activity. So we have to manage it in such a way that we involve the minimum of risk to competitors, to our officials, to spectators, and to the people on whose land we're privileged to go and compete.
What I was dreaming about South Africa is the difference of the landscape. Of course, will be a different event. We don't have desert, we are in the bush. Sometimes we see the animals. The culture here is fantastic. So everyone is very excited about South Africa, and they will not be disappointed.
So what a great job from our friends the marshals, who deal with the sun and the dust on a daily basis to ensure everyone remains safe. And what a great job from Henk Laargan and Brett Cummings, who ended the stage quickest. In fourth position, fellow South Africans Jaden Els and Johan Swemmer, who were behind some big names, Loeb and Sainz. Now, apart from the South Africans who are leading the standings, we caught up with some other crews. This is their story.
Jaden Els was well on course to make it a South African 1-2, but lost a few valuable minutes towards the end.
No, we're happy with the stage. Navigation was super difficult. I'm glad we started at the back today, because I think if we had to be in the top 10, it would have been a lot worse. So it was a good learning experience, learning stage for us. We still missed the waypoint, but we tried to minimize the mistakes towards the end, and it paid off for us.
Century Racing's Brian Baragwanath did what he does best, kept his head down and recorded yet another good finish.
3 little nav mistakes here and there, nothing major, just quick wrong slots and come back. More the driver concentration, so Len did a great job. And then 10Ks from the end, we had an issue with the drivetrain. I think we've broken a CV somewhere or something. But we managed to nurse it home, so only a minute and a half lost on the last 10Ks. So yeah, smooth day.
A tough day for both Sahud Bariawa and Guy Bottrell over at the Toyota Gazoo Racing side of the pits.
We struggled a bit with the rhythm, but we have days like that, and we just got to shrug it off quickly and be ready for tomorrow. So at least tomorrow we've got a good road position. There'll be quite a few cars in front of us. We've also got a penalty. We missed a waypoint, but other than that, not much more I can say. A little bit frustrating, but it's part of the game. Some days are good, some days are bad. And we didn't have a good day, but we get out the car, we're still smiling, and shrug it off and attack tomorrow.
We were opening the road with Loeb in the front, but 40 k's into the stage, our exhaust mount broke. So we ran without anti-lag. The spare tire was catching a light a few times, so we had to stop quite a lot. So really a dramatic day for me. And the last 60 k's we had no fuel pressure, so lost a lot of time, but we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
The local drivers might be familiar with the conditions, but navigation on an international event like this one is quite different.
Very difficult, I must say. I thought we had quite a safe starting position, but it was really, really tricky. Obviously, we used to back home having some markers and confirmation, and we didn't. So it was really tough. Right in the first 20 kilometers, we got lost, and we lost about 2 minutes there to Henk straight away. So we got to the next decontrol, and I saw we were 2 minutes down, and we sort of held our own for the mid-section of the stage, and then right at the end, we did a really bad wrong slot again and lost another 2 minutes. So yeah, 4 minutes in 2 bad instances, and then we had about another 4 small wrong slots in between, but they've all added up. So it's put us about 7 minutes back, but in saying that, it's day one. There's a long way still to go, and I think we'll start tomorrow, 12th or 13th. So I've heard tomorrow's even trickier than today. So it might be a better day to be further back. I see the guys that have started far back are coming through at the top. So like our normal races here in South Africa, they seem to always quicken up the further back you are.
And a fair share of problems for both Team Hilux drivers Janelle de Villiers and Forshia Blicknoop, who both lost valuable time in stage one.
We didn't have a good day. The stage was not too difficult, although it was very difficult in the beginning with the navigation side. And at one stage I felt really sorry for Leander, because he was really thrown in at the deep end with really tricky navigation. And obviously some places we struggled to find the way. We missed one waypoint, which gave us a 2-minute penalty. And then we had an issue with the wipers. Lots of mud on the stage, but the wipers were working, but they had no water. So, with all those things going wrong, guys from behind were catching me. Carlos, Nasser, Seth. Every time you have to let a guy by, you lose more than a minute. So, can only get better. And tomorrow we'll try and do better. That's for sure.
For us, it was a good day. I mean, there was ups and downs. I think for the first 120 kilometers, it went very well. I mean, after kilometer 130, we hit a big jump. We bent our back dampers, got 2 punctures, and from there I just nursed the bakkie back home. The handling was quite difficult. I mean, we get stuck in one of the muds. My car just shut down, struggled to get it started, but I mean, eventually we're back home. Bit tricky on the navigation. We got some couple of overspeeding penalties. But yeah, what a day. I mean, we was quite fast in the morning, quite happy with the pace, but yeah, tomorrow's the next day.
With 1 down, there's 4 to go. Will the South Africans continue to fight for W2RC glory, or will the likes of Alatia, Science and Loeb reign supreme? We'll find out in stage 2 tomorrow, and it's a big one, the dreaded marathon stage.